Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing this Friday evening? Hope everyone is doing well. And so I see we have a whole bunch of folks already online and stuff like that. So hope everybody's doing really good and everything. And Robin, um, I am so glad to hear that your husband is doing so much better and stuff, and that he's gonna make it. So I'm really happy and stuff. That is so awesome and stuff. So, guys, I gotta tell you, take care of your health and stuff. Just wanted talking about health and everything. Wanted to share a little news with you guys. One day I was walking around Target and I got a little dizzy and I had it was like a little pain on my chest. So the first thing I did was when I went home, I told Fred, went to the doctor. So now, I had a stress test done and ECG, something like that done. And I get to see my doctor in April to talk about it and stuff. But I'm telling you, when you have signs in your body that's telling you something is going on, don't ignore it. Do your thing. Handle it. Okay. Because I mean, we all go, but I know I'm not ready yet. Okay. Got to make sure my son is a-okay. He's totally independent. Then I can go anytime. I'm fine. Anyway, guys, enough about that. One of the things I wanted to talk about for us this evening is, tax time is coming. Our favorite uncle is going to show up in April, and that's the time for him to either collect or give us our check, right? So usually for me, he's collecting, okay, which is okay, because I kind of look at it when, to me, like my husband loves to check, but I don't mind paying for the simple fact that I always feel like if you overpay your taxes, I feel like you're kind of like giving the government a loan, okay, on your money. And I don't like giving free money. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather have my money and then I'll invest it and stuff like that. And then you tell me how much I owe you and I'll pay you. Okay. That's just how I do it. But anyway, right now we are in the process of doing our taxes. And when I was doing the TurboTax for the taxes and I was going through all my QuickBooks, because I use QuickBooks to keep track of all my expenses and everything for my business, I thought this would be a good time for me to talk to you guys about if you're running an embroidery or a sewing business or really any kind of business and stuff, what are the things that you should really be thinking about and keeping track, so that when you're doing your taxes, you make sure you claim all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to name a couple of the things that I claim, and stuff like that. A lot of times people, I'm going to start with number one. I have 12 on my list that I wanted to mention to you guys. The first one I have is business meals. Okay. um Sometimes I have to meet a client, and when I'm meeting a client, I'm usually showing them my portfolio, and usually my portfolio is me walking around, with all my little stitch outs. This is a stitch out that I just recently did. I'm gonna have to work on the colors a little bit. This is like a little dog, but as you can see, it's all in one color, so it's kind of hard to tell the texture. When you look at it up close, you can see the texture. Let me see if I can focus it on a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of hard for you guys to see, but there is some texture in here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate some more colors in here to see if it'll pop out a little bit better. But anyway, when I meet with a client, usually we'll meet for lunch or something like that, and they either want dinner napkins or towels and stuff like that. So when I'm meeting with them and we're talking about the different designs that they're interested in, and all, and what kind of fonts and what kind of material, I usually meet with them. I bring my MacBook with me, where on my MacBook and my external hard drive, where I have all the designs and everything, and we meet and we talk, and I try to get a sense of what it is that the customer would like. I usually never, ever, and not even usually, I never do. What I'm usually doing is in project management, it's called like requirements gathering. So it's usually just trying to find out information about their order. What is it that they want to do? What is their vision? What kind of embroidery are they looking for? After I get all of that information, I use my laptop to show them work that I have done in the past and also give them an idea of type of designs that I can do for them. And I also work with them in searching websites in case I don't have a design that they, handy that they want. I can search some websites and say, is this what you're looking for? And all that good stuff, right? So usually when I meet with them, we'll meet for lunch or something like that and everything. So those are what I consider business meals, right? Because it's not me going out just to eat and hang out with friends. I'm actually meeting with a customer because I have to gather the requirements and stuff like that. And they just want to meet somewhere other than coming to my home. And so always remember whenever you have stuff like that, keep those receipts. All right. And one of the things that I use is I use Quicken. And what I like about Quicken is that I can create the transaction, I can scan the receipt, and then I can upload the receipt. And then I can also categorize it. And then I can even put little notes. And usually in the notes, what I'll do is I'll put in the name of the customer that I met and what was the name of the project, right, that we discussed, right? Dinner napkins, towels, shirts or polos or whatever the person is looking to get. So business meals is something that a lot of people, sometimes they forget to keep and categorize so that way they can write it off on their taxes and stuff like that. So the other thing that people, really need to remember and try to keep track of is work related travel expenses. Okay. So, like, let's say you are going to Joann's to buy fabric, you go to Walmart to buy fabric. I live in Virginia. Let's say, I believe All Stitch is all the way in Maryland. Let's say I don't want to pay the $8 of shipping and I just want to take a ride out there. I can, the ride from my house all the way over to there to pick up the item. That's some miles that, that's travel expenses. Let's say that you're going to a conference, right? Let's say that you go to the expo or something like that. Airline ticket, the meals that you're there, the ticket to go to the expo or the craft fair or anything like that. That is stuff that you should always keep the receipts and everything because those are travel expenses as well. Okay. Um, and then also related to your car usage, your mileage. Okay. So every time I go to the post office, because the mailman, I forgot to schedule for the mail to come and pick up the orders and stuff like that. Whenever I get in the car and I drove over to the post office, that miles from my house to the post office, that's mileage that I write out as well. So, those are things that you have to keep track of. Now, it's really important that you always try to be as detailed as possible when tracking all of your expenses. And I'm going to be honest with you, flat out, this is the part that I hate. Okay. So I usually have Fridays as my administrative day. Okay. That's the day that I sit down and I put in all my transactions of anything that I purchased, keep the receipts. I track down the miles. I put it in my planner. If I go to the post office, I put a PO in there. And that means that day that I have to make sure that I put the miles into QuickBooks to show that day I had to go to the post office, or I went to Joann's, or I went to Michael's or Hobby Lobby or wherever. Okay. So all that stuff I always keep track. So one of the best things to do is whenever you're doing anything in regards to whatever business you're running, always make sure that you keep track of everything. Okay. Even your time. And that is the one thing that I am really, really bad at is keeping track of the time also because you work in your business. Okay. So you have to keep track of your time as well as to how long you spend um you know running stuff. So the other thing is business insurances and licenses. Now, I don't have a storefront. Okay. Now, I know that my friend Liliana in Minnesota, she has a storefront. I'm sure she has to pay for business insurance and all that kind of stuff over there. Um, I run the business from home. So right now it's like I just write off this space, okay, in my taxes, the one room, because this is where all the magic happens. This room is not used for any other purpose except for in all my embroidery and Etsy and YouTube and everything. Everything happens in these four walls. Beyond these four walls, no. Okay, so um, so all those home office expenses, make sure that you keep track of that as well. Home office supplies, okay. If you know, I have a particular printer that I use just for here in this room. I buy the paper for that printer. I keep track of all that, the ink and everything. We also have a personal printer in the house. That's the one that's downstairs in the downstairs office, and that's all for personal use. I try to keep everything separate. So it's always best to try to keep everything as separate as possible. That way, there's no confusion as to what gets used for what. Okay. So that is really, really important. Phone, internet. I just write off a little portion of it. Um, and then also, this is very, very important, your big ticket items. Okay. You get two choices usually. You get to write off the whole amount in 1 year if you want to, or you can depreciate the value through time. Now, usually, what I do for my big embroidery machines and anything that I purchase that's over $2,500, usually I think the amount is lower if you want to depreciate it. But I use the rule of thumb of if I spend more than $2,500 for a piece of machinery, which I have done for my MacBooks, my iMac, because I have a MacBook. This is the Mac, the one that I'm talking to you now is the MacBook that I use for when I meet with customers and all that kind of stuff. I have an iMac that I use in this room as well. Those two I depreciate through the life, and also the brother six needle machine. That's a big ticket expense, and then also the 10 needle machine is a big ticket expense. Everything underneath 2,500, I usually just take the complete write off on that year that I purchased it, like my SC 1900, the Jujuki machine. I bought last year, so that was $1,000 right there, and also my serger because I bought that last year as well. So any type of sewing machines or equipments and stuff like that, always keep track of those. Also keep track of when you bought them, when you started using them, and also the full amount. And because you want to be able to put all of that in your taxes as well and stuff. So also think about professional services. Let's say that you get a digitizer to digitize a file for you. That is professional services that you are hiring. Okay. Every time you go to someone and you pay to have a file digitized, that's an expense that's related to your business. Okay. So that you get to write off as well. All right. Education. All right. Let's say you take a class somewhere to learn how to digitize or even learn how to use a machine or to learn how to use software. I know that in some places, I believe, I don't know if they stopped doing it because of the pandemic and stuff, but I know in some craft fairs they used to have little sessions where you could learn how to use certain embroidery software like Hatch and Brilliance. And if you paid for any of those classes, or even if you paid for an online class, okay, on how to use software, that is a business expense as well. So don't forget about that kind of stuff, okay? Um Things that you buy, like for instance, let's say all the threads that you buy, all the stabilizers that you buy, all the hoops that you buy, okay? Those are all supplies. Those are, and then there's certain categories too. Some are called supplies and some are called tools. Okay. Usually when I have something that I'm going to be using over and over and over again, that, till the end of its life, I consider that a tool. Okay. And usually what I'll do is I'll put two categories. Supplies is stuff like stabilizers, because stabilizers, I use it up, then I have to buy more, use it up and buy more. So supplies, bobbins, threads, the water soluble toppings and stuff, fabric. Those I can to me, the way I put it in my taxes, I put that under the category of supplies. When I have bought my magnetic hoops, or if I buy extra hoops, those are tools. And I usually, it's just an expense, and it's just how you categorize it. So that's the thing. You gotta decide what are the categories that you want to use, so when you put them in your taxes, and then also, like, what are the items that you're going to put in each of these categories. Okay. So software is also another big one. A lot of people, sometimes forget about that. If you buy in Brilliance and you are running a business and stuff, that is actually something that you put in your taxes as well. Okay. Now I do that like this. I didn't, it wasn't last year, but I did buy the new module that Embrilliance came up with called Merly, and it's the one to make patches. I bought that, but I bought that in the beginning of this year. So that's something that I'll be writing in my taxes for next year. Okay. The rest of the actual modules of Embrilliance, I bought that the year before. I believe I bought that in 2020. So in 2020, no, I know, I think I bought it in 2019. I think I bought it in 2019. So, because I know I can't write it off on 2021. Okay. Yeah. So I wrote it off in 2020. I think something like that. Anyway, those are just some of the things, some of the things that I have, all the little categories and stuff like that I kind of use, when I'm writing off my taxes and stuff like that. I do have, what I do is I use QuickBooks, okay? And I use TurboTax as well. And I do have a good friend of mine who, he's got his PhD in accounting, and he's a CPA and all that kind of stuff. So usually what I do is I do my own taxes. Me and Fred write up everything and stuff, and then I'll have a meal over for dinner, and then I'll just say, "Okay, Emil, just give it a quick eyes on," and he'll just run the whole thing through, and he'll just make sure that I have all my numbers straight. A lot of times he will find things that I miss. Like, for instance, like I was talking to you guys about the business meals. He's kind of like, okay, I know he'll like come out and say, I know you met my wife for the napkins that you did for Thanksgiving and all that stuff. How much was that meal? So he'll remind me of certain things, and then he'll come out and say, okay, well, how much time are you spending, sewing and all that kind of stuff. And then he'll start pulling stuff out of me. So, I mean, my best advice is to always really go to a professional, because a lot of times they really know how to best categorize everything. And they will also sometimes be asking you stuff that you didn't even think about. So when I first started doing this, I used the QuickBooks, and the QuickBooks I kind of like because they do cover a big majority of the stuff. So if you get in the habit of actually documenting everything, how much you are spending and how much you are making, like when I do local sales, I have my invoice. I create the invoices in QuickBooks, and I'll just have them Vino me the money or whatever. And then I track everything in there. So when I do my taxes, I can say, okay, this is how much money I've made off of Etsy, and this is how much money I have made locally. Okay. So, it just makes things so much easier. And I don't know if you guys know, but starting this year, like next year, if you've made more than $600 in sales, okay, and it doesn't have to be $600 a month, I'm talking about $600 through the whole year. Because I believe before it used to be like 10 grand or something like that. Now it's like if you made more than 600, what'll happen is you have to claim that in your taxes. Okay. So it's like, and I think now they're like going into PayPal. PayPal has to report it, Vino. Zelle, all these cash apps, if they see business transactions and it totals over $600, I believe you're going to be getting a 1099. So so when you get a 1099, you're going to have to put that in your taxes. Etsy gives you a 1099. I've been getting them from Etsy, and it I kind of like it because it kind of really makes things a lot simpler, okay? Because then it's like all you got to do is take your 1099, plug in the numbers, and then you're good to go, okay? It's the same thing like with YouTube and everything else. You always get your 1099s from all these places and stuff. But because the local sales, I don't get the 1099. I have to actually add all that up, and then I have to put that in the taxes and stuff like that. So yeah, it can get kind of really overwhelming. A lot of times what I usually do is I this is my month to do it because I don't like waiting to the last minute because I know that my friend Emil, he has his own business, his own accounting business on the side. And I know this is his busy time of year. So I try to get mine done as early as possible so that way I can grab him and so he can have his eyes on it. And then it's like I don't want to bother him when he has his other clients and stuff like that. So and I just don't like waiting for the last minute. And at the same time, too, I always know we end up having to pay at the end of the year. We always have to pay. So I always want to make sure that I know how much we're going to pay. The money's in the bank, not a problem. However, though, I do not give them that check until April 15th or whenever that tax date is. That's when they're going to get their money. They don't get it one day early and stuff like that because I always feel like that's giving them free money, like it's like I always wait to the day. you know if anything, I won't say the day. I'll do it like 2 days before the due date, and then I give Uncle Sam his money and stuff. So yeah, so I those are most of the ones that I have. Especially the one that I find that a lot of times people forget is the professional services, okay? Because I know I forgot that big time last year, and then my friend had to remind me, and then I had to go back and see, okay, how much of these digitized files did I get done, okay? The embroidery files too that you buy, that is a supply. I consider that supplies or tools. I'm sorry, I consider that in tools because those embroidery files you use again and again and again and again. So like I said, but tools to me is stuff that you buy and you can constantly use, okay? Now, digitized files are usually files that I get from a customer and it's custom, right? So I get a drawing from them and then I'll go to a digitizer. So I'm paying for those digitized services. So I consider that professional services. And that is where I put that category, that expense in. And I do use those files again and again, but if you think about it, those are very, very custom files and they're really for the customer. Like for instance, I have some clients that they're business owners. So I do a lot of embroidery for their shirts. So a lot of times if they have like a logo and stuff like that, well, I have to pay to get that logo, digitized. So that's a professional service, and it's not really a file that I get to use again and again, okay? Because I can't take a customer's logo and put it in another customer's shirt because that's specific to that customer logo, and you have to think about copyright and all that kind of stuff and everything. You don't want to get in trouble with that. So but that's how I handle those type of things and stuff. Let me see. Okay, let me see. I think I ran them really quick. Okay, I said business meals, work related travel expenses, work related car uses. Okay, um, business insurance and licenses. Okay, if you have an LLC, I have an LLC and I have to renew it every year. Okay, with the state of Virginia, so that's $50 every year. I have to shell out. But if you're running your embroidery business outside of home, I'm sure you got rent. that you have to pay. I'm sure that you have to pay for your business insurance and all that stuff. So think about all that. The office expenses, I mentioned that. Remember, you got to have a printer, you got to buy paper, you got to buy ink for your printer, you got to buy computers, okay, so you can keep track of your orders and everything like that. You got to pay for your Quicken. If you use QuickBooks, okay, that's a subscription. That's $25 every, to me, I pay $25 every month for QuickBooks, okay, that's a tax write-off. If you have a tax accountant, okay, that prepares your taxes, you put that in there too, because that's professional services, okay. um let me see. Office supplies. Okay, phone and internet. That I have to talk to the meal about, because we use the phone and the internet, but we use it for personal stuff. But the thing is, I don't have like a separate internet account for this room. Okay, so I'm sure he's gonna do some kind of formula to, and it'll probably be with the space of the room, because I know that in QuickBooks they ask you, what is the square footage of the area that you use to run your business. So I'm sure that he's going to have some kind of formula where he's going to use the square footage of this home to calculate the cost of my internet and my phone and all that kind of stuff and everything. The big ticket machinery, like I said, two different ways to do it. You can write it off completely in 1 year, or you can write off a certain amount every year and depreciate it through the life of the item. So, I think it's like over $250 or something like that that you get to write it off in through several years. But my rule of thumb, like I said before, is 2,500. Professional services, your accountant, your QuickBooks, digitizers, stuff like that. Mention that. Education. If you sign up for a class or anything, or a course, if you buy a course and stuff, that's all, that's a tax write-off, because I know with John Deere, he has digitizing courses, and I paid for some of those classes. So that's tax write-off for me. Supplies, I use that as supplies that you have to replenish as they run out. My kitchen towels is one, my dinner napkins is another, because my Etsy shop is all about the kitchen towels and the dinner napkins. So, I buy a lot of those. If you buy shirts, okay, if you do the kids' birthday shirts and you're always buying the shirts to make them, those are supplies that you have to buy. If you have to buy the vinyl, you have to buy your thread. That's all, that stuff is stuff that you have to you get to write off as well and stuff. And I think that's it. I mean, there is a lot more. Let me see. What do I have here? Okay. I got on another piece of paper. Okay. You know how with Etsy you have your transaction fees and stuff like that? You make sure you put that in there also. That's an expense, all your transaction fees, all your advertising. So if the 20 cents that you pay to list your items on Etsy, that's advertising. Okay. If you're buying business cards, that's advertising. If you put stuff like this, like postcards and stuff like that, and when you do your orders and everything, that's advertising. Um, you know, um, Let me see what else. What do I have here? Oh, I wrote down more stuff here. Um, oh yeah, it was the advertising. Okay, the trips. I've talked about that. Office equipment, the machines, the supplies. Yeah, I think I got it all. Okay, I got it. Yep, I got it all. Yeah. That was the one thing that I forgot, was the advertising costs and everything. Because that is something that I even forget myself and everything. But with Etsy, it's like, that's the one thing that I like about the QuickBooks is I connected to my Etsy, and in the transactions it'll show how much you paid for the year in listing fees, how much you paid for the year in advertising fees, how much did you pay for the year in the transaction fees. And I don't know if you guys know, the transaction fees in Etsy are going to go up. And I think it goes up next month. I think for 6.5, it used to be 5%. Now it's going up to 6.5. So all that, what I like about QuickBooks is I get to just select the year, the tax year that I'm looking at, and then I get to type it in, and then I just get boom, that magic number, and then I can just yell across the hall and go, "This is how much it is," and then my my husband or Emmanuel will just put it in and stuff. So, but it's really, really important to be organized, guys. It really, really is. The worst thing you want to do is to do this and not the administrative side of things. And then what happens is at the end of the year or when you're doing your taxes, you're scrambling. You're scrambling because you're not going to remember. And trust me, I mean, I've done it. You're not going to remember all the trips that you took to Michael's. You're not going to remember all the trips you took to Joanne's or the post office. You're going to forget about all those little files that you purchase here and there. Because embroidery files, even though sometimes they're not expensive, but as you keep buying them, it starts to add up. And before you know it, you did spend quite a bit on embroidery files. Because I know on average, I spend, I think, close to $500 in just buying embroidery files. So, you're not going to remember all of that. So my best advice to folks that if you're doing this as a business, the best thing to do is to find a battle rhythm. Like with me, I have my Fridays. So my Fridays in the morning, my thing is I have to go and I review everything through the whole week, from Saturday all the way to Friday, excuse me, and say, okay, this is how many times I went to the post office. This is how many times this is what I bought and stuff. Hold on. Mm, throat to get dry. This is how many times you've done this, you've done that. So, and you get to account for every penny and every trip and every customer and everything. And then that way, when you go to do your taxes, you have everything. You don't have to worry about it. You're not scrambling. Everything is nicely organized and stuff. All you have to do is scream and go, what number you want? And then that's it. You just pull it up and read the number and it's good to go. And it's really, really, really easy and stuff like that. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys, I have a video on this. I was searching on Amazon, and this is off topic, okay? But look what I found. I got to show you guys this. This is cordless electric scissors, okay? I have a video and I'm debating on putting it on or not, and I'm going to tell you why. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about it. This is what it looks like. I wanted to show you guys this because one of the things, and I'm going to tell you why I was looking at this. I was looking at this because it was something that's advertised to cut fabric. And I was thinking, oh, this is pretty neat if you are trying to cut fabric. And sometimes you'll have scissors, and if the fabric is really thick, it's going to hurt your hand and stuff like that. And I was thinking, sometimes people have arthritis and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, let me see how this works. Now, this is fully charged, but I want to show you real quick how it works. I'll just show it to you now. See, it's like you turn it on, but see, look, it's noisy. This is the thing I don't like. See, it sounds like a jackhammer. So I was like, all right. So, like, let's say you're sewing at night and everybody's sleeping. Well, guess what? They're not going to be sleeping if you're cutting your fabric with this because it's like loud. All right. Now, I will say this: it does cut because look. Cut like butter. It does cut. Okay. So I was playing with it, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to post the video that I did because one of the things that I wanted to do with this is I wanted to test the cut with the fabric in different situations, right? Like I had just cut it right here and it cut nicely, But one of the things that I was thinking about is sometimes when you're sewing and you're cutting certain patterns, you want to be able to glide it, right? And I want to see if it actually works well. I was cutting some patterns and I saw that it was kind of uneven, but I'm not sure how it's going to work. So I'm going to redo that video before I post it to show you guys, because I really want to give you guys a real honest review on what how this works. It really does cut. It does cut. Okay. I'm just not crazy about that noise factor. And I just want to make sure that if you are using that to cut patterns, that it actually cuts correctly. I was thinking, is this something that can replace the rotary cutter? I don't know. So I'll just play with it and stuff like that. But it's just I just wanted to show you guys real quick because I know I ran down those categories so super fast and it was just staring at me. So I was like, oh, let me show you guys what I got, that I'm playing with just to see. So I'm going to do a video on that. And what I want to do is I want to see how I cut in certain situations and see how that works. It wasn't that expensive either. It was like $50 and stuff, but I'm s- like I said, the verdict's really to me. I don't know if it's something that I kind of like. I mean, the noise factor alone was kind of like, I already got enough noise going in here with the embroidery machines. I don't know how I would feel about electric scissors. So, and the thing is, I was figuring with $50, it's not bad, but I got some scissors back there that I paid over $60, but they cut like butter. I mean, they cut really, really nice. I was just looking for alternatives and stuff like that. So, anyway, guys, I am going to go down the chat and, and see what you guys got going on. Let's see. Hey, Robin, how you doing? And as I said, Robin, I am so glad that Dave is doing so much better. I think that's awesome. All the prayers worked. Hey, Sassy. Hey, Jeannie. How you doing? Hey, Porta. Um, hey, Norma. How are you? Hey, Miss Max. Hey, Eileen. How you doing? Hey, Karen. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Joan. Oh, I think we have. I'm gonna remove that one. I think we have one that is like, that's a questionable comment there. Okay. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Miss Green. Hey, Barbara. I'm not an accountant. I hate doing taxes. Miss Max, it is not my favorite time of the year. I tell you, boy. And I am very, very upfront. The administrative portion is the part that I really, truly hate. Okay. So Fridays is kind of like I really need my cup of coffee with a lot of sugar so I can get a lot of energy so that I can get through it. Okay. But I do it because I know that if you don't pick that time and you don't have that battle rhythm where you're keeping track of all your stuff, what's going to happen, and it is going to happen. I mean, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to get to the point where then you have to start playing catch up, and it's not going to be a very good feeling, and you're going to forget things, and that's where mistakes happen and everything. So trust me, pick a routine, stick to it, and just do it, and that way it's just done. And then so to me it's like Friday is the day that I just do all the administrative stuff, and then at 8 o'clock with you guys I can just have fun. Okay. Okay. And then the rest of the week I do my own thing. I can do videos and I can embroider and do the stuff that I like doing. Okay. But at the same time, just track it, but I just don't track it in big detail. When Friday comes, that's when I do the details. So yeah, taxes is not uh fun at all. Hey Neil, how you doing? Oh, from Japan. How are you? Welcome. Hey Stephanie. Um, hey Susan, how are you? Hey Jeanette, I'm glad to see you tonight. It's been a rough day. Hey Susan. Well, let me tell you, it's been kind of rough too. Because I had to do my QuickBooks stuff. But it does make it easier. I will say that program does make it easier. I do think it's kind of like on a pricey side because I will say I'd be like, damn, $25 a month, just to use it. And let me tell you, these software companies are a trip. I remember back in the day when you used to buy a CD, and I know you guys could hear me, and I know you guys feel me. I remember buying the software on a CD or a disc or whatever, loading it on the computer and then just using it. And then whenever they had a new upgrade, I didn't upgrade till I had to upgrade. Okay. Now it's like totally different. Now it's like it's all subscription based. Okay. So it's like they're getting their money and some. So I'm like, okay. I mean, it's a good business model. I mean, that's a good way to keep making money because the thing is, it's like you want to use the software, then you have to pay the subscription, and Microsoft, they're all going that route. But I remember back in the day when I used to buy that CD of Quicken because I use Quicken for my personal budget, and I would just pop it in and I would just use it. And the next year would pop by and I wouldn't upgrade. I would stay with the same one until I had to upgrade. Now it's not even a choice. So now it's a subscription base. So I'm like, but hey, but at least you get to write it off, right? You get to put it in your taxes as a business expense. So it's not all that bad. It kind of works out. Administrative day is a good idea. Yes. Yeah, Miss Max. But I hate administrative day. But you got to do it, right? You just got to, some things in life you just got to suck it up, and just do what you got to do. The room where it happens. Yep, this is it. um, hey, Justine Wright, how are you? Um, I see Shirley. How you doing? And I think I hit up. Let me see. Oh, let's see. I see Shirley. Hey, Miss Banks, how are you? Okay, I see another one. I'm gonna remove here. Hey, Sassy, how are you? Besides federal taxes, there are also state and county and sometimes city taxes to consider. And Sassy is right. Yep. But I just let Emmanuel do that for me. I'm telling you, I just do the start. I do the TurboTax, and I just started off, do as much as I possibly can. But I'm telling you, if you guys are not accountants and stuff, always try to have somebody, especially if you're running a business, have a professional do it. I just wanted to share some of the categories that I know that I have to collect and put in the system. I'm not a CPA at all. I'm an IT person. But my friend Emmanuel is. That's his he lives, breathes everything accounting. Okay. I mean, it's like that's his thing. Okay. He's got his PhD in it. And he teaches. He's also a professor at a university. So, he lives and breathes this stuff. So I mean, he's a great friend to have and everything. And he's always, but he knows how I am. He knows that I like to do things on my own. So he always just lets me knock it out. And then just he comes in and then he puts his eyes on it and stuff because he wants to make sure that I don't end up in an Uncle Sam's jail cell. So um yeah, but yeah, Sassy, there are other things that you have to consider. Hey Visa, how are you? Postage, yes. Sandra, yep. And that's nothing. I didn't mention that. Yeah, you're right. Shipping, guys. Don't forget the shipping. Okay. You get to put that in your taxes as well. How much did you spend in shipping out your products to customers? And stuff like that. I mean, yes, thank you, Sandra, for putting that out there because postage is, and that's a big expense too, if you really think about it, especially if you have an Etsy shop and if somebody buys more than $35, right, they get free shipping, right? So what does that do? That comes out of your profit, right? So yes, and QuickBooks does have a category for shipping, and I always just go and say, okay, shipping, and all of that gets written off. So Sandra, yes, absolutely right. That is something else that you have to consider and stuff. Hey Miss Max, does it really work for you? I bought one years ago for me, not so much. Okay, Miss Max, I know that you're talking about this. I'm telling you, I'm playing around with it. I don't like the noise. That's the thing about this. It is very, very, very loud. It is not quiet at all. Um, it does cut well, but like Miss Banks was saying, the cutting out of, I mean, not Miss Banks, Miss Max, cutting out patterns is where I had a not so great time. And that is what I'm having right now with. Okay. First of all, when you place this on the table, this makes so much noise and it vibrates. So it's very hard for you to be very steady. And then one of the things that I found was when I had two pieces of fabric and I'm trying to cut around the pattern, it's not like a clean cut, for the simple fact that it's loud, it's kind of shaky. Okay. So it's kind of hard for you to like hold it real steady and still. So I'm noticing that when I'm cutting it, it's not cutting a real clean finish as if I was using a rotary cutter. So, I mean, I just took it because, I got it because I just wanted to see. I saw also, I did a search on the YouTube, and Miss Specs, I saw some people were looking at that and they were kind of like, oh, this is good, this is good. But one of the things that I was thinking was, okay, I was looking at those reviews, and those reviews were from like years ago. They were like from 5 years ago. But I'm like, okay, when you used to watch YouTube and you watch all these people, all these crafters, and they're cutting fabrics, you don't see anybody using an electric scissor, okay? Even though this has been around for a while. So I was kind of like, okay. So I was thinking, well, maybe it really wasn't the best thing, that came out, or people thought, okay, well, it does cut, but for what we need to cut and how we need to cut, maybe it's not the best thing, right? So I was thinking, well, that was years ago, so maybe they've improved the product. So I said, let me go ahead and just order it, because when you buy stuff off of Amazon, so you can return them and stuff. But I have to be honest, Miss Max, I am having the same issues with the cutting of patterns. I'm gonna do a video and I'm going to just show you guys cutting in different situations. As you guys saw real quick, I just cut this piece real quick with that. It cuts really good. It cut, and it was a nice clean cut. The problem is when you're cutting patterns, when you're trying to sew, sometimes you need to curve and stuff. And if you're cutting more than one fabric, and sometimes you do, because sometimes you need to cut on a fold so that you can cut two slices of fabric, you're not going to get that even cut. As with a rotary cutter, it's lying flat, and then all you're doing is just rolling the cutter around there. I'm going to do a video and I'll show you guys what I mean, so that, I mean, that way you guys can decide for yourself. Honestly, though, I think this probably will go back, because what I wanted it for was to cut fabric, and it doesn't look like it's going to work for me. So I don't think that is going to be something that, is going to work, unless you're planning on just, you know, cutting fabric, that's like just single layer, I guess. Um, or maybe drawing on it. Maybe if you put chalk on the fabric and then you could just have the fabric and then you cut along the lines, you can do it that way. Um, I'm gonna play with it and I'll videotape while I'm playing with it so that you guys can see what situations work, what didn't work, and go from there. So we'll see what happens. Hey Angela. Hey Miss Banks. No, that can't replace the rotary cutter. I've had mine for over 10 years and I didn't bother to use it. It's too noisy and it doesn't cut patterns out good. Thank you, Miss Banks. Okay, see, so I know that I'm not doing anything wrong, okay? Because, and I'm glad, because that's two people, Miss Max and Miss Banks. Another thing that I was thinking about doing was, what if I take the fabric and I pin it and then take the electric scissors and cut around it? So that's another thing that I'm going to try. But the thing is, to me, that's more work. You know what I mean? So it's like, why not just have the fabric laying there and just take a rotary cutter and go slice it? And this is another thing that I was thinking about. How much is it going to cost? Okay, first of all, you pay $50 for the scissors, right? Now, these are the blades. I'm sure you're going to have to replace these blades. I'm sure as time goes on, this is going to go dull. How much is it going to cost to get a replacement of this blade? How long are these blades going to last? Now, I know with rotary cutters, I do have to replace them. You can always tell when you have to replace them when you start cutting and there's certain parts while you're rolling that it just doesn't cut, and then you have to go back. That means that your blade is getting dull. You're going to have to replace it. I know that you can get like a pack of blades, and they're not like, an arm and a leg, okay? I have a feeling, and I'll do the search on Amazon. How much does it cost to replace those blades? And I bet you they're probably going to be a little pretty penny too. So I don't, it's just something I wanted to share with you guys. I mean, I don't, personally, I mean, they do what they say, I mean, they cut. But for someone that like me, that I want to sew and I want to make things, with fabric, I don't know if this is something that I would do. Now, I also know that also cuts boxes and it cuts thicker stuff. Maybe if you could do that. When I was looking at the reviews, it did have high reviews, okay? And a lot of people were talking about using it for cutting boxes and everything. So if, like, let's say you get a lot of boxes and you need to cut them up to put them in the trash, because sometimes garbage companies, they don't just take the boxes as is. They want you to like fold them up or cut them up in little pieces and stuff. This could be awesome, because that way you're not like ripping and stuff like that. You could just take that and go zoop and then just cut your boxes. So I could see that as a real good benefit. Or if maybe you work with heavy material like leather or something like that, maybe this will work for that too. But for what I work with, which is like thin fabrics, my fabrics are usually thin like this. And then quilting, like I'm doing this, and I'll be right back. I'm here. See, like this isn't finished though. I still have to put the binding on here. This is a tea cozy. This is like a cover that you're supposed to put on top of a tea kennel. Okay, because I told you guys last week that I went with the ladies in my neighborhood. They went to a tea house, and they sat around. We had tea and everything. And when they brought the little tea kennels out, they had these like little things over it. And I was looking at them and I was like, oh, I can make that. And this, all it is just a half a circle, and then I'm gonna put binding at the bottom and stuff. And then I was thinking, what I was thinking of doing is I'm gonna put, embroider my friend's name on here, and say, Mary Catherine's tea time or something like that. So I thought I would just play around with it and stuff. And then I practiced a little bit of quilting. I don't know if you guys can see, because it is uh black. I don't know. Can you see it? No, I don't think you can. Well, you can. If you look at this little flower over here, you'll see, I start stitching. So, I mean, the squares are all off too, because I didn't use my walking foot. With the walking foot sometimes has like a little guide, so that way you could always measure the same amount of space between your stitches. So I didn't use that. I kind of freehanded because I just wanted to play with it. um Honestly, I don't like it too much, because when you look inside, you can see the raw edges. So I think what I should have did was, maybe I should have sold this on a serger. I don't know, to make it a more finished touch. But for my first tea cozy, I think it's pretty good. I think I did all right. I think, it passed. I think it passed. I mean, it's not like I'm selling them and stuff like that. So I think it did okay. But Miss Banks and Miss Max, thanks so much for letting me know your experience with that thing, because it's like for some reason it's kind of like I don't know. So I mean, I maybe for the other uses it would be better and stuff. Over 50 years ago, when I was 14, and I do still do have one like that. It's smaller and lighter. Used it all the time. Oh, you had one of these, Barbara? But it was probably quieter too. I don't know. What's funny too is I thought it is a neat idea. It is a neat idea. It is. But I'm surprised someone hasn't like perfected it in a way. So I don't know. We'll see. My husband would have a fit with that noise because I like to work late into the night. Yes, just seems right. You are right, because you know what I was when I first started to film. When I started playing with this, it was at night and Fred was sleeping, and so was the dog. And when I turned this on, he was like, "What the hell is that?" Because it's loud. It really is loud. And he was kind of like, "Are you drilling or something?" And I'm like, "No." So yeah, it is very just seems right. Linda, you're right. It's noisy. It is very, very noisy. It is not quiet at all. Hey, Angela. Jeanette, I looked at those scissors on Amazon, but they say you can't get replacement blades. See, Angela, I did find replacement blades on them. And I'm gonna look, and I will tell you exactly how much they cost. Like, I did find them. Now, the replacement blade that I found, because this comes with two blades. It comes with the blade for the fabric, right? And then it also has a separate blade that comes when you're cutting the thick fabrics like boxes, leather, stuff like that. So the replacement blade though that was on Amazon was for the thick stuff, for the boxes and all that stuff. It wasn't for the fabric. So maybe you can't get it for the fabric, which that would suck. That means that this really wouldn't work for someone like me. That's what I wanted it for, was the fabric. And it kind of sucked that it didn't work out for me, because I'm trying to really get into the sewing, right? I really want to, remember I sewed my own shirt. So I bought more fabric and I wanted to sew more shirts. Now, laying out the patterns and cutting out the fabric and stuff, it can be kind of tedious, right? You have to put your fabric weights on and stuff. And then you have to really like go there with the scissors, and you go round, 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 whatever. And then, or the rotary cutter, right? I kind of thought when I saw this, I was kind of like, oh, I could just turn it on and then I could go, go around. You're always trying to find an easier way to do things, right? But it is not the case, because when I cut the pattern using the fabric using patterns, I saw that when I was done cutting, and I'll show it on the video, they were not equal. It was like the bottom thread was longer. I mean, not the bottom thread. The bottom fabric it was cut like longer than the top fabric. So it's not like a real clean cut and that you get with the rotary cutter. With the rotary cutter, you kind of cut down, and when you slice it, both the bottom fabric and the top fabric exact same size, because they both cut the same. But when you use that, and I think it's because it has this lift, okay? And when you feed the fabric between these two, what happens is you've already kind of shifted the fabric, the way that the fabric lays down, because you kind of like lifted it up. So it's no longer, the same. I'll explain it in the video. I know it probably sounds crazy right now, but when I do the video, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna play with it, you guys are gonna see what I'm talking about. So to me, that's why I'm thinking for sewers, I don't think that this is going to really work. I mean, you could, it cuts, does it cut fabric? Yes, it does. But will it cut fabric in the way we need it to be cut? I don't think so. That's really what I'm trying to get at with all this, and stuff. So, yeah, let me see. My husband, okay. Let's see, Angela. I look okay. Miss Banks, I agree with you. Yep. Hey, Eartha, how you doing? Hey, crafty Puerto Rican, how are you? Hey, Norma. No replacement? No way. Yeah. And that's the other thing too. Like I said, with a rotary cutter, you can always buy rotary blades, okay, and stuff. But I mean, you can get them for Amazon. You get them in Joanne, Hobby Lobby. So many places you can get those replacements. But with that, I don't. It's like, okay, well, what do you do? I mean, and that's $50 is a lot of money. I mean, you could get. I think for me, $50, you could probably get like two or three rotary cutters, or you could get a whole bunch of blades too. So I don't know. I mean, it's just not, something that I could see myself, using and stuff. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think I lost it. Every time I touch this thing, it's like always goes a little berserk on me and stuff. But I would like to find some electric. And I would love to have some electric scissors too, but I need them to work. That's what I'm saying. It would be really great if someone had created something. It's like the concept is good, it's just I don't think that the product is there for what we needed. Premiere will walk you right through it. Yes, Lucy, and that's what we're doing. We're using TurboTax Premiere, and it does walk you right through it. You are correct. It does. It's up, but Emmanuel always like comes up with categories that I just didn't think about and stuff. And last year we had a lot of commotion while we were doing our taxes. This year I'm hoping that we can do it where the atmosphere is a little more calmer, so that I can actually write down and do the right categories that I need and stuff. Because last year was a little bit like chaotic and stuff. So it was really hard for me to focus and stuff. Maybe I think there were different brand. Yeah, these are called Angela. The brand that I got was the Pink and Power. But I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I already put in a request for a refund. Okay, so these are gonna go back. I'm just gonna do the video just to show you guys, and then tell you why I'm gonna be returning them. Um, you know, but like I said, it's not a bad product. It's just depending on what you need. If you need to cut boxes or cut leather or something like that, perfect. But for what I was hoping to use it for, it wasn't gonna work for me. That's for sure. And stuff. He does once he finds out how much I spent on fabric, he's gonna shoot me. Angela, tell him that it's a tax write-off. He should know. It's a tax write-off. It's okay. Yay for the CD. Miss Max, yeah. And I miss those times when we had the CDs and stuff, because to me they were cheaper. I mean, because you would pay for the subscription. Now you got to pay for a subscription. So yeah, it kind of, in a way, I had all these CDs in the house, but I wasn't always paying every month. So now it's like we have to pay for these subscriptions. So yeah, they changed their business model on how they're going to do that stuff. um Angela, praying for you now. What's so funny too is I thought my business my expenses were going to be mostly supplies, because when I buy my kitchen towels and my dinner napkins, I don't buy them like one at a time. I usually buy like 10 packs at a time. And Fred's kind of like, because I spent 22,000 in supplies, and it was like Fred was kind of like, what the hell, you know? But it's funny because when you look around, it's like you don't really see too much supplies in the house because I do sell a lot. So, as the supplies come in, they do get sold a lot. So it's like I buy them in big bulk. And then when I see that the bulk is like at half mark, a little bit over half that I've sold, I go and then I put it another order for another big bulk, because the last thing that you want to do, especially during the holidays, okay, that is the last thing you want to do is to run out of supplies. So it's like my thing is the kitchen towels and the dinner napkins. So I always make sure that I have lots of them in hand. And that way, when the holidays come, like Mother's Day will be coming. So I am stocked up because a lot of people love giving kitchen towels and dinner napkins for the mothers. So I am completely stocked up. I am ready. So when those orders come, I can just rock and roll, because the last thing I want to do is be in the middle of getting all these orders ready, and then I have to worry about, oh shoot, I'm running out of towels. Now I got to place another order, and I got to hope that the orders come in time so I can fill those orders. That's not the type of stress that I like having. Okay. Last Christmas I did run out of my ivory towels, so I had to update all my listings on Etsy to say I only had the white towel available. Now I am back in stock on the ivory. And even though I have over 100 here, I ordered another 100 because I saw that for a while that color was not available. They had a lot of whites, and but I didn't need the whites. I like the ivory. So because the thing is, sometimes people don't like the white towel because white towels get dirty. So the ivory is ivories get dirty too, but it's not, it doesn't show as much. So I like to have a lot of the ivory. Like I have plenty of the whites, but I need to get another more ivory. So I already put in an order for another 100, so that way I have 200 in stock. And that way all I have to do is when they come in, I always tag them. I put my own label on them, and then once they're labeled, I have them stocked up. So when the orders start coming in, then all I have to do is just take the towel. I don't have to worry about labeling because I already did it. All I got to do is just make sure that if it's personalized, update the file with the personalization, stick it in the machine, and let it rock. And do my thing, and then just package and just keep it going. The last thing you want to do is run out of stuff and everything. So, hey Paula, how are you? How is it possible to have a fabric cutter that you can't change the blades? Fabrics wear down your blades like paper. Yes, Miss Max. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing that I'm concerned about because when I went on Amazon and I was looking where is the replacement, and this is the thing too that concerns me. With a rotary cutter, you can buy a replacement for that rotary cutter in lots of places. Like I was mentioning before, you can go to Hobby Lobby, you can go to Joann's, you can go to Amazon. There's lots of different places where you can find replacement blades. How many places are going to have replacement blades for this? And right now, the only thing I found was a replacement blade for the heavy items and didn't see it for fabric. So that's another concern that I have. So that's why I'm kind of like, this is not going to work for me. Hopefully, I like the concept, and I'm hoping that it gets more thought, and that within time it improves, because I think that would be really, really great. Maybe somebody could come with an electrical rotary cutter. That would be kind of cool, that you have a rotary cutter and maybe it spins, and then you could, here's an idea. Somebody out there, if you could come up with something like that, maybe that'll work. I don't know. So, but that's just not something that right now I don't think it's a good fit for me and stuff. Let's see, what else do we have? Um, it took me 3 days to do our taxes. We had a relocation and had 3 states to file. Yeah, it's let me tell you, Victoria, I mean Veronica, it is yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Thank God we only have to do it once a year. But it is not a fun time. It really isn't. And it is less fun when you don't have everything organized, which is why I always have administrative Friday. Always. Packaging, tape, printed label. Yes, all of that. I mean, everything. Every time I spend money on the business, even if it's small, stickers. Like I buy stickers, for when I package out my items, my planner, okay, that I create that I bought so that I can keep track of things that I need to do and everything. Any little thing, you always have to make sure that you have to have everything organized. Good for you. That's great. You must be very organized. You got to be organized. I still don't understand how Etsy calculates our revenue. You know, Angela, now if you go to Etsy, okay, and you look at the dashboard, okay, they have really broken it down. They put down what the sale is, and then they have a section now where they have net profit. And they also put down your sales tax and how much the transaction fees, how much for advertising. They kind of broke it down, um but it can get a little confusing. That's why it's really is important for you to really break down, how much are you paying for transaction fees and how much you're paying for listing fees, advertising fees too, because Etsy has advertising fees. I wonder about the coupons. See, I don't do coupons on my shop, because I always look at it as, um sales can be good. I mean, it's kind of like a two thing. Like, if you run a sale, it's good because a lot of people like a sale, right? But sometimes what I think is, if you run sales too much, then what'll happen is people are going to say, "Oh, I like her stuff. She's always running sales. I'll just wait till she has another sale and then I'll buy it." You know what I'm saying? So I sometimes feel that can hurt your profit margin a little bit. Um I know sometimes some people, what they do is they up the price and then put the sale. Um I just kind of like don't want to like bother with that. So I usually like just make sure I have my price, and to me I look at it as that's a reasonable price. And I just leave it at that. I don't run the sale. So I don't know how sales, I don't think there is a category. I'll have to ask Emmanuel on that. I'll have to ask him on sales and stuff. But I never did that. But they have gotten, Angela, I think they've gotten a little bit better in how in categorizing the sales, and how everything is, and your net profit and stuff like that. I think they gotten a little bit better and stuff. Let's see. Too complicated for me. um, let's see. Where else? Look, hey, Miss Max. Look forward to your video. You're sure a new business of yours? Yes, this is Latina Stitches and Company is another LLC that I've established. I established that last year. The whole thing, this is something that I do plan on standing up this year. Latinas, what it is I wanted to do like a separate. I don't know if it's going to be another Etsy shop. I don't think so. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a Shopify shop. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be selling more handmade stuff on that site. Probably some of the similar stuff that you'll see in my Etsy shop, but I'm also going to try to see if I can incorporate some blanks um on there as well. But I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I got the LLC just in case. um I don't know when I'm actually going to be able to have the time to actually incorporate it, because right now the shop that I have right now is really has been doing really well. And I have been getting a lot of local orders, and that has really been keeping me busy. Okay. So it's kind of like I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of like, ooh, this is it's getting to be a lot. And I gotta keep, you know I gotta find my medium. I gotta find my medium because sometimes I do get exhausted, and I'm like, I just don't want to like come in sometimes, but I gotta do it, right? Because you got orders you have to do. Customers paid me. I gotta make sure I pump them out. So, um, but yeah, Latina Stitches and Company. It's supposed to say Latina Stitches and Company. My sister made this shirt for me. It's one of the first shirts she made when she bought her Cricut machine. Um, and yeah, because she got into the whole cricket thing and everything. So this was like the shirt that she made for me. So she kind of named my company. So I was like, okay, I'll use that name. um oh, please try cutting a box. Oh yeah, I will do that. I'm definitely going to try using both of the blades that comes with it. Okay. So I am going to Miss Max, I am going to use both blades because I want to show everything that comes with the box and everything. Because like I said, I don't want to, first of all, I don't like putting negative stuff out there. Okay. I'm not saying that this is like a really bad product. Not saying that. It cuts. It does. Okay. The only thing is for what I was looking for, it wasn't going to be a good fit. But like I said, if you cutting boxes and stuff like that, then I would be like, hey, that's kind of, I mean, I would use it for that, and stuff. So, but I will definitely do that, and I'll make sure I put that in there. I could tell it's quilted. Yeah, it's a little. This is a little quilted, but it's not like a straight quilt. But I do have to bind it, so that's going to be a little challenging. Um, I think it came out cute, for my first cozy. I don't have a tea kennel, so I don't know if it'll actually fit a tea kennel. So I guess I'll just I plan on embroidering my friend's name on it, like I said. um and I'll do that after I bind it, and then I'll ask her, did it fit the tea kennel. But and then if she says she likes it, then okay. But yeah, I think it looks kind of plain, but it's okay. I mean, it's my first one, so I think she'll like it. Um, let's see. Oh, another one. Ooh, there's a lot of gremlins out there. I'm gonna remove this one. Okay. Um, hey Carol, how are you? And so, thanks, Mix Max. Um, hey Elaine, how are you? Looks good. Use binding on the inside seam. Ye- I don't know what you mean, Barbara, but okay, I'm gonna figure. I will show you guys the finished product. I will. I'll show you guys the finished product. I am gonna use the binding though, like I did with the my placemats. That was fun to make, the placemats. I like doing that. That was pretty cool. I liked it and stuff. Let me see. Hey, it looks good. Oh, thank you. You can still search. You know what? Yeah, you're right, Miss Banks. All I have to do is just turn it inside out and just put it through the serger. You're right. Because I mean, it's not too late. It's not like you know, yeah, you're right. I could. Yeah, because this is the thing that I don't like. I don't like the way the raw edges is looking inside. See, it has like an unfinished look. Okay, it looks tacky. I don't like that when you turn it inside out. See, so you know what, you're right. I'm gonna put this underneath the serger, and I'm just gonna go around, and it'll give it a more clean finish and stuff. But you're right, Miss Banks, I'm gonna do that. Thanks for saying that and stuff. It has a, it had a very low hum. I wonder what brand it was, Barbara. And I wonder if you could still find that. I love my electric. You have, hey Sheila, there is an electric rotary cutter. I was just joking. I didn't know that they had them out there. I'm gonna do a search for that then. Where did you find? See, everybody's Sheila. Everybody, you started something. Now we all want to know about this electric. What kind of electric road? I want one. Amazon has several others. VE. Okay, I'm going to, all right then, guys. I'm going to look into that, and I'm gonna look and see, and I'm gonna get one, and then I'm gonna give it a shot and stuff. Because yeah, because I mean, I was just joking. I didn't know that there were actual it looks like it's made to cut house plants. um I didn't know that they had such a thing. So I'm going to, Sheila, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to look into that and stuff, because that's something that, and I'm assuming you use that also to cut fabric. I'm hoping, because that's what I'm looking for and stuff. Hey Angela, just started startup course, costs are outrageous. Hey Angela, it is, but you know what? It is. When you first starting a business, that is the biggest thing is the startup cost. The machine, the threads, the stabilizers, because You're starting. So all it just feels like, to me, my husband laughs because I tell him I feel like I have my pocketbook, and the money's just flying out. Okay, that's that's how I felt. But once you hit your mark, and you got that niche, and people start buying and stuff like that, it's going to get better. It does get better and stuff. So just hang in there, Angela. Don't give up. Okay. Hey Ollie, how are you? Can I ask if someone has tried men's hair trimmers instead of the thread eraser? Yes, Ollie, people have done that. They have had, they used it. Um, I mean, to me, it's like the same thing. I think though, my husband has one. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do a video and play around with it and do a Peggy eraser versus a men's shaver and see what happens. That would be a fun one to do and stuff. I just have to make sure that Fred's not home so he doesn't see me using his shaver and stuff. But you just gave me an idea, because that's something that I can do. I can try that and stuff. Hey Miriam, how are you? I have tried the mustache trim erasers. Works perfectly well. Oh, there you go. Sheila's tried it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Just remember to do it. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Linda. How appreciate that. Oh, good. Half the price. Okay. Um, bought the Peggy's narrow stitch eraser. Not happy with it though. Oh, see, I will say I have used my Peggy Stitch Eraser, and it has helped me, because I was doing a bath towel, and I messed up, and I had to take it out, and it worked good. But I will tell you, I hate it when that happens, because when you're embroidering, and you have to undo all that embroidering, you're talking about so many stitches. And for something that only took like a couple of seconds or minutes to embroider, it takes like hours to undo. So it's like a pain. And sometimes you just want to take it and you want to throw it out. And I've done it a lot of times, like with my kitchen towels. I'll just cut the kitchen towel in half, and the part that is all messed up, I'll throw out, and then I'll fold the other part that's not done in it, because I always figured I could use that half for another project. But sometimes you can't do that if the customer gave you the product, because you would have to go out to the store and buy it and replace it. So I'll just suck it up and undo every single stitch and hope that I don't damage the item, because if I do damage the item while you're unstitching it, then you have no choice but to replace the product. But luckily, I have been able to undo all of the embroidery and not have to replace it. I've been pretty fortunate in that. So, but let me tell you, that's like the worst because that's to me is like a work stoppage where you got to sit there and undo all the stitches. It's a lot, so, and it's like the most unpleasant part of embroidery to me is when you have to undo the mistake, so yeah, let's see. Um, removing embroidery stitches is a wreck. Yeah. I have the stitch eraser, but it's a pain. To me, it's not worth the effort. Yeah, but sometimes you have no choice, Angela, like I said, and you can't you just got to suck it up and undo it. Electric rotary cutters are available. I have one, but haven't used it yet. My friend uses hers all the time, and she told me I needed one. Okay, then I am going to get one. Then maybe that's what it is. Maybe what happened was I picked up the wrong item. Maybe what I should have did was got one of those and not this. See, because this is what. So I'm definitely going to look at that. Oh, I'm definitely going to look at that. Okay, I got another troll in here. I'm going to remove him. Man, they are out tonight, I tell you. That's why sometimes in the comments I like to only put subscription, people that subscribe to the channel. Um, but at the same time too, I don't like to, sometimes it's somebody new and they just want to join in the chat and I don't mind, so but that's okay. Um, you need a monitor. I know, Angela. My monitors keep quitting on me. Jade used to come and monitor for me, and then Danielle, but they get busy and stuff. And Carnito got a life. um, did you get? Let me see. Okay, if I only make 50 for the year, do I still have to pay taxes? I don't believe so, Charming, because the I think the well, technically you're supposed to, for any sale, you're supposed to, report any type of sales, really. But what I understand is if from what the new tax law is 600 or more, you're supposed to report it for sure. Anything that's over 600. Okay. So 50 to me, that's just so super low that to me, I'm like, I wouldn't even bother, to be honest. But I've always made like last year, I made about I think my profit was about like close to 24,000, something like that. And that's just me doing this part time. It's not really like a full blown. That's why I can't wait to retire so that I can really do it full time. Because this is what I love to do. So I'm counting down. It says 4 years and 3 days that I have left, something like that, before I can retire. I mean, 4 years and 3 days, something like that. And I was even telling my husband, should I do an early retirement? But I really want to do my full 30 before I retire. But I'm gonna try to stick it out as much as I can. Hopefully do the full 30 and then I'm done. But if not, then I already kind of told Fred I could leave earlier, but I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see. Um, how'd you let's see. I thought it was me just doing something wrong. I used a straight razor with a steady hand. Miss Mac, you could do that too. Yeah, I have done the razor too. And another thing that people have used was a face razor, regular shaving razor. People have used that to cut mistakes off of their embroidery as well. They have done that as well. So that's something else. Um, see, binding the inside will cover. Oh, I know what you're saying. That I could bind this too. I can put binding here and then turn it over and then bind the bottom. Thank you, Barbara. That's a lot of binding though. But you know what? I'll do it. I can bind it and stuff. Tea cozy. Add a ring on the top with a pink bow that would add a little interest. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, you're right. You know what I was thinking too was I should have had like a little tab. So that way you can pick it up and so that you could pick it up and stuff. But this is just my first. I just wanted to try it and just see. I'm sure I'll make another one and I'll probably make it more prettier. Um, but I wanted to do like a little hook on here to see so that way, you could just lift it up the tea kettle. I should go to maybe a Salvation Army and stuff, see if I can buy one, a little tea kettle or something. But yeah, apparently these are very, very popular at the tea places. And one of the things that I really loved was the tea sets and the teacups and everything. I mean, they were really cute. It was a really nice experience. And then I'm actually going to another one because my girlfriend is celebrating her 60th birthday party, which I got to get on the ball and do her dinner napkins because that's the gift that I'm giving her. And she's doing it at a tea house also. So that is going to be really interesting to go and stuff. And everybody's got to get dressed up. And I'm like, oh, that's so not my thing. Because I'm a sweatpants, sweatshirt kind of girl. I am not the dress up type, but I love her. So I'll do it for her. Okay. So I'll wear a hat and I don't know if I wear a dress. I'll wear slacks or something like that. That's just me. I'm just not that type of person. I'm just not a fancy dancy kind of girl. So but she's celebrating her 60th and you only turn 61. So I mean 60 once. So I'm gonna do it for her. So, I'll dress up that day for her. The things you do for your friends, I tell you. So hey Miriam, I need to drink your water, Jay. Yep. And let me tell I got a big tug because I'm telling you that health scare was a little bit kind of like, ooh, when I was at Target. And then I was thinking about that too. Maybe it was, oh, thanks, Miss Max. So important. Appreciate you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I had that little health scare, and I'm telling you guys, listen to your bodies. Whenever you feel anything is wrong, you know, just handle it. Do what you got to do, because that was a little bit scary because I was in Target by myself, got a little dizzy, and I was kind of like, what is going on? I mean, I wasn't dizzy where I fell out or anything. And then my chest hurt a little bit, and I was just like, I was like, this. I mean, it wasn't like pain, like blah, like oh my god. But it was enough that said that I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm in my 50s, so stuff starts to break down, and stuff. So I better go and find out what's going on. So hopefully on April 4th, they'll tell me what's going on. And then I can just be like, okay, what do I gotta do? And I know probably what's gonna happen. They're gonna say you better stop eating McDonald's and you better start eating healthy and you better start hitting that gym more. Which you should be doing anyway. So I'll just have to be like, okay, fine. I guess I just got to do what I got to do, right? So eat more salads and vegetables and all that kind of stuff. So got to do what I got to do. Let's see what else we got here. Singer made electric shears had my mom had a very low pitch hum. Hey Susan, see, I know that sometimes things. Oh, how is Mello? I see. Oh, Mello is doing much, much better. Thank you for asking. The issue that he had was diet. He was not digesting the food that I was giving him before. When I picked him up from the breeder, he was eating ProPlan Focus, which is very good dog food, but for some reason it just wasn't agreeing with his stomach, which is why he was vomiting a lot. So they did the all the tests on him, and he is on ID science diet, and he actually loves that food. So we got the dry and the wet food. So I just give him this dry food and 1 spoon of the wet food, mix it up, and he's doing good. He's like at 100. So He's doing so much better. Now that you mention it, Angela, I mean, he has not thrown up once since we changed his food, and he's really doing good. So yeah, he's gonna outlive me, I think. So, but thank you so much for asking. He is doing much better. He's with daddy right now, sleeping and stuff. I got him a big bone too, so I'm sure he's probably gnawing on that right now and stuff. Fred will say, "Honey, where is my share so dull?" And Susan, I'll be like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe you got some tough hair." Maybe your beard hair is so tough. You need another blade, you know? I probably tell him, let's order you some more blades and stuff. Because, of course, until he watches the video, then he's going to say, now I know. um, let's see. Uh, oh, my daughter came to visit for a week and ended up staying with me for 6 weeks because she had a very low blood count. Oh, Miss Max, I hope she's doing a lot better and stuff. You gotta, I'm telling you guys, gotta be real careful. I mean, anything, seriously. And you know what's so funny was I was having a conversation with my girlfriend Patty about it because I was telling her, I'm going for a stress test, and I think it's called the EGR or something where they put all these, things on you, and they read your heartbeat and stuff. So I was talking to her about it, and she was like, one of the things she mentioned to me is a lot of women, um, they suffer from heart attacks because they ignore the signs, and she was like, God, she was telling me, good for you that there it is, EKJ. Yes, Susan, that's what they did on me. Yes, thank you. So, she was saying a lot of women sometimes suffer from heart attacks and stuff because they ignore the signs, right? And, it to me, it was like, I'm not usually one that gets dizzy. Now, I will say I'm not a big water drinker, and I have to start drinking a lot of water, because that's good for you, right? But, I was thinking at first, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm dizzy because I'm not drinking, I didn't drink water today or something like that. But then when I felt that little bit of pain, I was kind of like, ooh, I better get checked out right away to make sure that everything is okay. Because if there is something wrong, I need to be proactive and do whatever. So I already kind of know that some of the things where, they say, oh, you're a little overweight. Yeah, I know that. The older you get, your metabolism slows down, and I'm not exactly really a healthy eater. I'm really not. I mean, I love my burgers, and I'm just gonna have to stay away from the red meats. And so that way, because I don't want to suffer from high cholesterol or diabetes or anything like that. So you gotta take care of yourselves, guys. So seriously, any little thing that you guys feel, um, say it and go. And because a lot of people ignore signs, and your body does talk to you and tells you, when you're really tired all the time or something. um because to me, I was kind of like, oh, that's not how I normally feel. So I was like, okay, if you got insurance, use it. And because you want to live as long, healthy and happy life as you possibly can. So Jeanette, thank you. She was getting a little dizzy and ended up in the hospital. She's fine now. Raising hell, driving me crazy. I'm glad you're getting checked, and I fully understand you. Hey, Arma. Sounds she's back normal because that's what kids do. Yes. Kids will drive you crazy. They sure will. Because let me tell you, boy, Carlito would be, whew, love my son to death. And I always tell him, you're my favorite son. And then he always laughs and says, I'm your only son. I said, that's why you're my favorite. So we always say that and stuff. But yeah, but I will tell you, I always say, to me, it's like I know we all go. And my husband gets mad when I say this because I always say, well, if I ever go, I'm okay with it, because it's just part of life. And I think I lived a really, really blessed life. I love the people that have been part of my life. I think I've lived really well. But my thing is right now, I I want to see my son be okay. And I think that's what we all do. We want to know that when our time comes, that those that we love and care about, they're okay. They're in a good place. They're going to be able to fend for themselves and do well. And I don't think my son is there yet because he's just 21. He's in college. So I want to see him finish college and I want to see him do okay. And I want to hang out with some grandkids. And I don't know, the way Cardio's going, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hang out with some grandkids because he's picky. But he's only 21. So, and if you really think about it, I didn't have him till I had Cardito when I was 32. So, yeah, so if he's anything like me, he'll probably start having kids maybe in his 30s and stuff. So I hope I can hang out there, and still be around and stuff. Women hate to go to the doctor because they think they are super women. Yes, Miss Max, it's true. It is true. Listen, I'm telling you, it's like just go. I mean, because if something is wrong, find out early so you can be proactive and do what you got to do so that you can get better. That's how I look at it and stuff. Grandkids are the very best. You can send them home, and that's what I want to do. See, I want to babysit my grandkids. That's the other thing too, because when I had my son, I was a single mom. So, and I lived in Virginia alone. So I don't have family here. It was just me and my son. So there was no grandma or sister, aunt, or uncle, or anybody that can care for Cardito. So working and being a single mom and living in a state without family, really, really, really hard to do. So one of the things that, I was like, I would sometimes, look at couples and it's like mom or dad. Someone was the drop off and someone was the pickup. Well, I was the drop off and the pickup of daycare. So I would have to go pick up Cardito and then I would rush out of work and then have to go and pick him up from daycare. So I was it. I was it. So it's hard. And daycare it's expensive. Okay, I can only imagine how much it costs now. Cardito is 21. I can only imagine. All I know is the daycare costs more than the mortgage, and I was just like, what the heck. So to me, it's like I tell Cardito, I'm like, okay, I'm going to retire in 4 years. So I would, if Cardito gets married and has kids and him and his wife are okay with it, I would love to be the babysitter. So I would be like, oh, that way they don't have to pay for daycare. Just bring them over to grandma's and I'll embroider them shirts and hang out with them. And I'll even take them to school and everything and just pick them up and leave me alone Saturday and Sunday because I gotta go to bingo and do my thing and have fun, and then I'll be ready on Monday to help take care of them and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted to do. I want to babysit my grandkids and stuff. Um, so I'm kind of hoping that I get to enjoy that and stuff because that would be like so cool. Because I would love to start making birthday shirts for every year and making them clothes for school and taking them to school and everything because I think grandkids are really great. So yeah, but I'm gonna have to give him some time because if he's anything like his mother, he's gonna wait till he has a career before he has a kid. I know that because that's what I did, and so that's why I had him late. I had him like I was 32 when I had Cardito. Yeah, 32. Yeah, and I had a hard time getting pregnant too, because I waited so long. So it was just like, ooh, so it was weird. So anyway, I got all into it. You were very fortunate. Good for you. Oh, thank you. Oh, Crafty Puerto Rican. Women heart systems and heart issues, heart attacks are different than men. Jaw pain, back, upper left area. Yep, and that's where it was, like in the upper abdominal pain and the chest pain and shortness of breath. Yep. See, crafty Puerto Rican knows because she's an RN. You know, she's a nurse. That's her field, so she knows and stuff. My son is 33, married 4 years, no grandkids. I'm semi patiently waiting. Hey, Pam, I could just see it now, and I could see me now. I'll be like, "Oh, she's it. Okay, well, you're gonna get married. Or forget the wedding. Go to court. Get married. When you gotta have a kid, you know." That'll probably be me. And she and my daughter-in-law will probably be like, "Oh my god, your mom." I'll be like, I'll probably drive them crazy and stuff. um, you are so right. The little things we have to pay attention to. It is. It's really y'all need to borrow some. I got 14 grands. Oh my God, Linda, that's awesome. Four grades. I wouldn't trade it for the world. See, that's what, daycare is 290 per week in Texas, depending on the daycare center. I used to pay that for Carlito, and that was just before and after care. I remember, and then when Carlito turned 12, because in Virginia, at the age of 12, you also have to look at the laws. Sometimes they can stay home alone, but they can only stay home alone for just a couple of hours, right? So what I would do is I would take them to daycare so they could take them to school, and then the school was like a block and a half to my house, so he would have to come home, and then when he got home, he had to call me to let me know that he was home safe. And I would always badger him and go, "You lock the door," and all that good stuff. And I'm telling you, it's kind of funny because sometimes I think about um, me and Carlito back in the day and how, we used to walk around the grocery store with all the coupons and all that stuff, and how, it was crazy, man. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I got the energy, but you know what? They were really good times. And I think that's why me and him are so close, because we went through it together, and it's, I don't know, it's just weird. It's kind of like, wow, it's just, so anyway, no grandkids here. Keep semi adopting friends. Yeah, I and a lot of my friends, they're not grandkids either. I don't know. I guess you start becoming grandmas when you're like 60s or something, cuz me and my friends mostly are in our 50s right now. So all our kids are just starting college. But yeah, I can't wait. Now Cardito's plan is to join the army when he's done with college. That's what he says. I don't know. Um, I just told him, to me, my advice is just live your life, be happy, follow your dreams, just do what and also ask yourself, what kind of difference are you going to make in the world? Because I just really want him to be happy. Um, because when you're happy, I told him, don't get caught up too much in the material things, because none of that goes with you. When your time comes, the big house, the big fancy car, and all that kind of, none of it goes with you. But those memories you built and the relationships and everything is really what's important. And all the rest of the stuff, material stuff, it comes in time. It's not a big deal. Um, I remember when I first bought my first house. I mean, shoot, it's like I didn't even have furniture or anything, and I slept on the floor for a long time. I had like an air mattress and stuff, and all my clothes were in boxes and stuff. And I was afraid to turn on lights because I didn't know how the electric bill was going to be. God, I was like just starting out in life and stuff. But anyway, I don't know how I got all this traffic on this topic and everything, because we're supposed to be talking about taxes this important hour. I'm just baffling on and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, um, I am going to let you guys know, as always, went over the hour and stuff. Guys, hope you liked all the advice I gave you guys today about, stuff that I write up on the taxes. Hope you give this video a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, also welcome and stuff. Let's see, do we have anything else out there? Nope, I think we are good. We are good. I think I got everybody's comments and stuff, and we're good. All right, guys. So I am gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna call it the night. You guys have a great, great, great weekend. And like I said, take care of you and stuff. And if you guys have ideas, questions, and even if you guys need help with anything too, please feel free to reach out. I don't mind helping out and stuff. I've helped a couple of people this week with testing files and all that kind of stuff. And I don't have a problem with that. Okay. So, and if you guys need help or advice, or if you guys don't know about the Facebook group, which is Embroidery Happy Hour Adventures, please join it. If you need help there too, you can join that group. If you get stuck with something, post it out there. If I can't respond, the folks in that group are really super nice. A lot of people will jump in, try to help you and all that kind of stuff. So, because my whole goal for this whole thing, I first of all, I like doing the channel. I think the channel's fun. I got to meet a lot of great people. I like sharing what I'm learning, and I like helping people. It doesn't cost anything to help somebody else out. And that's really my whole goal for this whole thing, for the Facebook group and for the channel and everything, is to help other people. I love sewing, I love embroidering, and I just want to share it with you guys. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's get together. And hope you guys give this video a thumbs up. And have fun sewing and embroidering and stuff. And you guys take care of yourselves, okay? So I will talk to you guys later. Oh, you're welcome. I really enjoy these Fridays. I gotta tell you, I really do. Because I don't know, for some reason, I just feel like a lot of us has sparked friendships. And, I really love seeing the conversations in the chats. And I like sharing stuff that I'm making, because as I'm making stuff too, I really like the advice that some of you guys give me too, like the binding and all that stuff. So yeah, I think we got a little special group going on and stuff. But anyway, and I hope we grow, and stuff. So, guys, I will talk to you guys later. You guys have a great, great weekend. Please be safe. And I will see you guys next Friday. And I will do a more in depth video on that electric scissor that I looked at. And I'll also look into those electric rotary cutters, because now I'm pretty curious myself. And I want to see if those will actually work, because I'm looking for something to really help me like cut fabric a lot faster and better. So we'll see what we can come up with. Okay. So I'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a great night. Take care. Love you all. Bye.